make sure I put the pipes in. There's nothing worse than forgetting to do this and then not being able to expand. I think I've gone into the ocean a bit there, haven't I? It's unnecessary. Can we do... Maybe I need to go back to that wonky solution that I had earlier. Right. There's our wonky system. Do you know what? That looks better than what we had before, so I'm going to stick with that. So, we're going to need, this is important obviously, we are going to need a police department. Try and squeeze that into the corner as best I can. We are going to need a fire crew. Not enough money. That, how frustrating. How much do we need for that? 12,000. Alright, speed things up. It should be there pretty quickly. Now I'm going to put the fire department services smack bang on the roundabout because they can reach everywhere really quickly by doing this. I probably should have done the same with the police station, thinking about it, but yeah. Alright, massive demand for housing. That's not what we're looking for. I suppose I could live with that. I just won't put anything down the bottom here. I think that'll work. That's workable. We'll stick with that. Some people will get some incredible sea views, and some won't. I think what we'll go is another medium road, not that type. This type. Yeah, I think we'll have another main section coming down here, and we'll connect the housing to it accordingly. Right. Let's go back to the small roads. Remember that situation I mentioned earlier where you're going to build all this stuff and then realise you haven't put any water in? Oh, hello. I can get one section of housing in there. Let's do that. A few more shops at the end. I might put a road in there to connect those two up. We'll see. We'll see. Right. Okay. So we have our industry area created. We have quite a decent amount of population now. The demand for housing is down. The demand for industry is small. It is growing and expanding and ebbing and flowing. So I think we're okay. Check our water situation. Electricity is getting a bit tight. Making profit. Dangerously close to polluting that water, so I have to be aware of that. You can see that we've unlocked forestry industry and farming industry. They're the first two you unlock, and they have these things called main buildings. Now each industry area can only have one main building, which truth be told was a little surprising to me. Right, have we got enough for one of these yet? Not quite. Almost there. So you can have one massive industry, or you're basically going to have to create lots of smaller industry items in order to accommodate. Oh, we got a fire. Absolutely brilliant. We're just waiting on the fire services now, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. A little bit late, but we're on the ball. And you can see they've got really good coverage in the middle there. Boomtown, we've reached a population of 1,900. New area, and we've unlocked the ore industry specialization. And I think that's all for industry. Small warehouses. That's it, really. Alright, so we got a bit of cash. We're just going to whack some healthcare in here. Everybody's kind of healthy. Maybe popping something up here later. I'm going to expand out this way for now. Right, so our residents are happy. We've got 26,000 in the bank. Let's go do some industry-related stuff. Now, I said I'm going to start with forestry because it's easy to do, and obviously, in order to get to the fertile land, we need to come across this water expanse, which is just going to be expensive, and we can't afford to do that. Now, it's true to say that you can't... Electricity problems. Electricity problems. Let's not put them together, and that's going to absolutely destroy our finances again. Just as we get to the point where we're going to start doing stuff. That should be us totally balanced out now. I don't think we need that anymore. See, we still kind of need that. Well, actually, no, we don't need that anymore. So we can get rid of that and that. At some point, we're going to move this. But here we are. Right, everything is balanced. We've got 8,000 in the bank. Don't worry about that just now, but we will have to come back to that. It's really important. Let's have a look here. How much do we need for this? 20,000. Speed things up. Making 1,000 a week. Slightly less now. Oh, probably because just whacked electricity up to flipping maximum, haven't I? Bring it down to minimum. Just make sure we got enough electricity. We don't. Oh gosh, right. Slow that down. Let's get this under control before I start messing everything up. Good. Apologies for the electricity outage, gentlemen. Massive demand for residents. I think probably we're going to have to prioritise that. Bring in more money and more demand. Moment, that is pretty important. We're in a position where we can do that easily without having to worry about using too much electricity or water. We're in a good place, ladies and gentlemen, a good place. Right, okay then. So the residents finally are happy. Just need some cash now. So I'm going to speed things up. Let everybody move in, settle in, get happy. And then finally we'll start building over here. Now the first thing I can do and will do is just put an industry road in here. Small industry road is all we need. Now, just to make sure that we have some electricity when we start, I'm just going to bring this up. Don't want that problem because I ran into that yesterday. So we got a bit of cash coming in. People are moving in quite happily. Halfway to our target. Then we can start building. All of this just to start building the Industries DLC. Goodness me. Oh, no. See, never ends, does it? Alright, so we've had a death. So now we need to have a crematorium. The cemetery. Now I kind of want to keep this area here like sightseeing thing or something like that. Our equivalent of Ayers Rock. How are we doing financially? Nearly on the mark now. Nearly on the mark. Nearly got enough to start this actual review. But it's partly a review, partly we're actually playing the game. How are we doing? Finally, enough cash. Right, let's go. Forestry, main building. Now, we're just going to pop this. So, unfortunately, I can't move this. We've got sawmill, small tree plantation, and small log yard. Just, you can see that. Garland Woodland has reached level 1. The following buildings have been unlocked. Now, this is all part of the Industries DLC. And this is it now. If you click on this, you can see here we've got workers. So if you hover over that, you can see what we need. Now, in order for industry to expand and level up, and there's 5 levels of industry that each industry can have, you need to fulfill all of these jobs. So we have already got 20 uneducated people, so that's covered. We need 12 educated, 5 well-educated, and 3 highly educated in order to fully expand this company. Now, if we click on the area industry info, obviously you can rename what it's called up here. I don't appear to be able to drag these windows around. Sure, I used to be able to do that, but you can't at the moment. And basically, raw forest products are the trees in this instance. Oh my gosh, I just realised we don't have any water over here. I'd forget something. So that should cover everything. Not sure why you don't have electricity. Does that not reach over the road? Oh, that's frustrating. Still learning, guys. Still learning. Still learning. Still flipping learning. Right. Okay, now that's active. Let's go back to it. So, raw forest products. Let me show you here in this industry. You have got Main auxiliary buildings. Now, this industry area that we've created here can only have one main building in. So you can't have a bit of forestry and a bit of farming. You just can't do it. You can have one or the other. Now, I haven't tested it yet, but I would like to test the ability to have... If I made this very small, so I just made this section here a woodland area, and then made another one over here, I think you can have multiple main buildings and multiple industries in that sense in the same area. But all you can do here with this one is just basically fill out this entire industrial area and make that its own thing. So we'll test that out at a later date. Same applies to farming. Now, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 technically sections to each industry. You've got the main building, which creates so whereas we used to go create a district and then set it as a farming industry district, that's what putting the main building in this area does. It sets it as that particular industry. Just to clarify that. Once that's done, you have what's called extractor buildings. Now, the naming conventions in this are confusing, to say the least. At best, they're confusing. But extractor buildings basically are natural resources or resources. So for oil, it would be the machines that pull the oil out of the ground. For farms, it would be fields and crops and animals, that kind of thing. But for farming, obviously, it's trees or plantations. And you just have different sizes that you unlock as things go. Now, I'm not sure what the tree saplings do, but we'll get to that eventually. So here we have a sawmill. Obviously, this is the next stage. This is the processing building. So the sawmill can basically turn trees into planks of wood, and that's the second part of the process. There's also a biomass pellet plant and an engineered wood plant. Not sure what that creates, I'll be honest. Then you have storage buildings, small log yards, so you cut the trees down, you put them in the log yard, and then you process them. Technically, I think they should be the other way round, but what do I know? Maybe not. Maybe cut the trees down, turn them into logs, and then you store the logs, perhaps. There's one for sawdust, there's also a large log yard, and that's pretty much that. Now, once you've created all this stuff, you also have these much larger warehouse yards, which allow you to store products and or goods, and that's important because you have these specialist buildings where you can turn the products that you've created into something, like a chair, a table, a cabinet, who knows, whatever. So furniture factory, we have a bakery for flour, although interestingly in the DLC they refer to flour as flowers, and I don't mean flowers as in FLOWERS. I mean flowers in FLOURS, flowers, which is weird. I don't think there is a plural of flower. Give me all the flour. You wouldn't say give me all the flowers. So I think that's just a typo, a mistake there, to be honest. Household plastic factory. I'm not sure how you get to that, but there you go. Toy factory off plastics, probably oil, I would have thought. Printing press, lemonade factory. There's loads, absolutely loads. So you can really turn this industry area into a really thriving, exciting experience. And that's what we're going to try and do. But let's go back to forestry. Let's start small. So we're going to need a small tree plantation. If I put that there, that's going to knock the electric out, isn't it? Slow things down. And these all need to be roadside, by the way. I'm not sure if I agree with that or not. It's just the way it is. And we're going to have a sawmill, which I think I'm going to pop here. Then just fix... Oh, good, that does connect. Goodness. Go back to here. And we'll have a little storage area. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the start of our industry. Now this is the main building. This is where the workers' confirmation are held. This is where the processing. This is your total profit. This is always in negative equity. I haven't figured out yet how to make that positive, but I've almost reached level 2, and that took me 3 hours. So the DLC itself, just the DLC itself, adds hours and hours and hours of fun to the game. You have some policies here that you can implement. Obviously they have negative and positive effects if you implement them, mostly costs. You can see these new icons here. This building is currently in need of basically raw resources. The raw resource that it needs is forest products, which is basically trees, which are over here, and they will be turned into planed timber. Now, each of these areas have worker requirements, and at the moment we don't have enough raw materials. And this is also has workers required, and it's a bit dynamic. They're all dynamic. They all change. So this will start filling up with trees once we start processing them. And also you have the option to choose which kind of trees to choose. I don't know if that's just a cosmetic thing. Obviously it changes the look of them, but it's instant. So I think we'll keep them as conifer because that's the area that we have here. This makes more sense to me. But yeah, I don't think you can create different types of products as a result. You saw that truck there just dropping a load of wood off, and there it is. And now this should, I'm guessing, a truck will pick it up and bring it over here, and that will then start processing it. And it doesn't really make sense that you have lorries transporting stuff from here to here when it's this small, but when you start expanding out, that'll all make a lot more sense, I would imagine. Right, so that is industries basically set up. Now, like I say, if you want to advance this level here, you need to have produced that many resources, and you need to have that many workers. Now, this bit, easy. You'll exceed that way quicker than you'll reach this. This is a problem. And the reason why this is a problem... How am I going to close that? The reason why it's a problem is because you do need to educate people. Look at the demand for industry here. Absolutely loads of demand for industry. Right, but we need to start investing in education. It's expensive. So elementary school. Pop that there. That's the first stage of expanding your industries. And they all kind of interrelate as you progress over time. It's difficult to manage, and it really adds a whole bunch of new cosmetic feel to the game. A lot more... What are we going to do with this area? A lot more availability, if you will. A lot more thought processing. The demand for education is much greater now. I mean, I would have left education for a long time because it's just not relevant. Just have industry. We haven't unlocked offices and so on. But with this situation here, this industry requires the whole range from uneducated to highly educated people. And as a result, that is definitely going to change the way in which people play the game. Now, there's a massive demand for industry right now, and we can't grow this too quickly. It's not like the industry of old, which I'm doing now, where you just go, oh yeah, I'll have 1 million shops down here, please. You have to think about it. You have to work it. You're basically being the manager of the business. You're the CEO. You're constructing it piece by piece and expanding and enhancing the business slowly. As is customary in any game that I play, I've forgotten to give them water. Make sure that entire area is covered. Whilst we've got a bit of cash in the bank, I think what I'll do is I'll just fill in all the gaps. I don't think we're going to go much further that way, to be honest, but at least that's all covered now. Right, so industry demand should be being hit. There's a massive demand for commercial zones right now, so let's come over here, expand some of this, and whoops, expand some of this and make sure that everybody has what they need. See, that's not straight, is it? That one's straight, but this one won't go straight. If I put that there, it's going to work. I don't know how we're going to deal with that. We'll have to come back to that another time. We're out of money again. Hurrah! Actually, I quite like that being a big open space there, so we're going to keep that as is. Alright, so now we can whack some housing in. Let's go housing, housing, housing. I think actually that... Half tempted to put a second landfill site in. It's only 26% full, but... Are we going to be able to buy the next bit of land? Just enough as well. Let's do that. That's not a problem. We're about to go up to the next level, so that's fine. We can expand out this way and get rid of the horrible, horrible filth that's coming out of here. We'll probably move all of this away from the residents at some point.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video today. I really appreciate you coming along and taking the time to do that. I want to say a big thank you to each and every one of you who watched this video today. Special big thank you to our Patreons and supporters on Twitch. But everybody who comes and watches, you all count. You are all part of this. And I thank you so much. If you hit that like button, I will like you twice as much. Even more than that, perhaps. It is for you guys that I make these videos, so it matters to me a huge amount if you enjoy watching them, and if you don't, you need to tell me. So thanks for watching, take care of yourselves, until next time, goodbye for now.